All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Las Vegas Raiders. In tonight's video, this is a team that has been absolutely ridiculed the entire offseason. And you know what's actually weird now that I say that out loud? People, I think, had a loose idea that when Antonio Pierce came in as the interim head coach last season, halfway through the year, that he was building something at least worth monitoring. And as the regular season progressed, we saw the Las Vegas Raiders become one of the best defenses in the entire National Football League. And then you had, free agency, and, the Raiders didn't pick up a quarterback. Not that that was assumed or, going to happen. But the point is, people were keeping an eye on, in their back pocket, people were keeping an eye on the Las Vegas Raiders. And then, in free agency, obviously they signed Gardner Minshew. People still anticipated the Raiders to draft a quarterback in the first round. Now, I will just say, if you guys have been watching this channel all summer, I did too. I thought Michael Penix Jr. was probably going to be available at pick number 13, if not maybe Bo Nix, some player. I did think Las Vegas was probably going to take a QB, and obviously they didn't. So we move into the offseason, we're thinking, obviously, Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew. The point is, the Raiders are a team that's built to compete, maybe not necessarily right here, right now, this upcoming season. Even if they had, let's say, Dakota Prescott that everyone thinks, or Shedeur Sanders that, out of Colorado, that you're reading a mock draft and Las Vegas is a top 5 pick because people are freaking out about the quarterback position, or they pay a bunch of money to Dak Prescott because they're worried about the quarterback position and they're assuming Las Vegas could be bad. The Raiders aren't necessarily built to win a Super Bowl right here, right now, because they don't have that caliber of quarterback. But the point still stands. They're building something, and they're building something nice, in my opinion. So we're going to run through it all. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL and Raiders content. If we try and get this video to 100 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. I'm a little bit bigger on Las Vegas because we've been covering this team for 3 straight seasons now, and I see the defense and I see the offense and all they're necessarily missing as far as roster construction, just pure, let's do power rankings of pure roster. Las Vegas, in my opinion, is at worst average. You got Max Crosby, you got Devontae Adams, now you drafted Brock Bowers. The Raiders are set up, in my opinion. But people are freaking out because they don't have a quarterback. So we'll actually start this video off on a high note because, we're not going to be negative the whole video, but we're going to go through some power rankings. We're going to go through some executives' opinions, and it's looking really bad, and we're just going to kind of dispute it. I saw an article, and I forget where this was from. This was from earlier in the week, and they were doing hot takes. It was either Bleacher Report or The Athletic or something like that, and they were doing hot takes. And one of their hot takes, to my surprise, was regarding the Las Vegas Raiders, and to an even more further surprise, it was regarding a hot start to the Raiders. So was the excerpt. Now that I'm talking about it out loud, I think it was from Diana Rossini. The Raiders start 5-1. Despite rumblings of a Devontae Adams trade request, which, by the way, was shut down from Devontae Adams himself just a day ago, this team is much improved from the Antonio Pierce unit that finished last year 3-1. What? That cannot be a right statement. Anyways, I guess I didn't proofread that. What the hell? Last year finished 3-1? That doesn't make sense. A cakewalk early schedule and the Gardner Minshew upgrade transform them into deadline buyers. That is the only positive thing I've heard from an NFL beat writer or the NFL media, or even just a random non-Raiders fan opinion on freaking Twitter. The Raiders schedule is really nice to start off the season. Just real quick, you start it on the road against Los Angeles with a brand new head coach, and then you do hit the road against the Las Vegas Raiders, the Baltimore Ravens, but then you come home against the Carolina Panthers, the Cleveland Browns, you hit the road against Denver, you come back home against the Steelers, and then things get a little bit dicey on the road against the Rams, back home for the Chiefs, on the road against Cincy, and then it's the bye week. If Las Vegas starts the season 5-1, that would literally shock 99.9% of NFL fans. And that 0.01% is going to be optimistic Raiders fans. Just real quick, get into the pessimism. Reading a couple of power rankings. This is what The Athletic had to say. They were 26. The preseason vibes were grasping. And it all has to do with the quarterback. There is no way the Raiders hoped Gardner Minshew would win the starting quarterback job when they signed him to a 2-year, $25 million free agency deal this offseason, and his play this preseason would hardly suggest he won it. He was simply the better of two not great options. That's not a good sign for Aiden O'Connell, and then he gets into Aiden O'Connell and the future of the Raiders. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me because at the time of the signing, the Gardner Minshew move was, ooh, you know what? He knows what he's doing. Gardner Minshew led the Indianapolis Colts to a 7-6 record last season, and they were a game away against C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans from literally making the playoffs. Now, I do think a team like the Indianapolis Colts are rising, but especially on the defensive side of things, and especially considering like proven playmakers, I think the Raiders do have a much better roster than the Indianapolis Colts. If Gardner Minshew can lead a Colts team to 7-6 with really good statistics, and by really good, I mean really good for a backup quarterback, I don't think they're the 26th best team in the National Football League. They were like 8-9 last year with freaking Josh McDummy and Jimmy Garoppolo as the starting QB and the starting head coach to start off the season. So then real quick, let's get into the NFL executive ranking AFC teams. They had the Las Vegas Raiders as the 14th team in the AFC. 14th team. Or actually, you know what? I think it was 15th. It was one of the worst, second worst, or third worst teams in the AFC. And I just don't really, and here was the excerpt. The Raiders went 5-5 last season with Aiden O'Connell, put numbers up similar to the ones new quarterback Gardner Minshew produced while going 7-6 with Indy. The value Minshew adds as a scrambler differentiated the two. Our voters underselling the Raiders defense special teams. And then one random exec, anonymous. As always, they're always anonymous. The head coach, Antonio Pierce, with 9 games of experience, will be interesting from a decision-making standpoint. And if they don't have success right away, how does he manage that? They're all fair plays, but if you watch the Raiders last season, it really doesn't. I'm going to take it with a huge grain of salt. And then finally, another article I was reading, the biggest issue for the Las Vegas Raiders is the quarterback play. And once again, going back to The Athletic, they clearly have some type of agenda to the Las Vegas Raiders. They did a quarterback stock ranking for all starting quarterbacks in the National Football League. If you want to take a guess real quick in your head where Gardner Minshew ranked with, yes, rookie quarterbacks, all 32 teams, if you guessed 32 out of 32, well, you answered correctly. There is no way, shape, or form Gardner Minshew is the worst starting quarterback in the National Football League this upcoming season. Jacoby Brissett. That's just one that comes to mind. So my point is, the NFL hates the Las Vegas Raiders right now, and that wasn't really the agenda a couple of months ago. And obviously, the Raiders are about to prove everybody wrong. So that's it for today. A little bit of a hype video, going through some pessimism that I hate to do, but we had to do it. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL and Raiders content. But folks, most importantly, let me know down below, what will the Raiders' final record in the regular season be? Let me know. Peace.